to JR the Bossman Show. We have a great guest for you from Mount St. Mary's, their new coach. He was assistant there previously, Dan Engelstad here on the Bossman Show. Coach Engelstad, I know you guys are back from summer school now. You got your guys on campus. You kind of build that bond with your team now more going forward. And how excited has it been, Coach? I know it's been a wild time for you, taking a job late this in the process, but still trying to get things done. So how's it all been for you, Coach?
It has been the craziest couple weeks of my life. It's been something that, I dreamed about when I was here as a 22-year-old assistant. Got an unbelievable break with Coach Milan Brown at the time. And, I'm not really knowing what the college coaching world is, and just really was a dream come true to even get into the game. And then my first year here, we ended up getting to the NCAA tournament. I always remember we were playing Carolina in the first round. That was with Hansborough and Lawson. And I'm standing there at half court, and Roy Williams taps me on the shoulder. I look over to him, and I'm 22 years old at the time. He says, "Coach, guys did a great job this year." And I turned back to him and said, "Coach, yeah, you guys too." So from there I was hooked, and it's been a great run at Southern Vermont where I just ended. But to take a program with this much history and this much tradition and a place that has meant so much to me has been, like I said, just a real dream come true. And just to see the guys that are part of this program and just build upon this great tradition has been terrific. Like you said, it has been a whirlwind. We've been recruiting. We've been meeting with the guys that are here now, trying to get the guys that are committed to stay and develop a staff. And so there's been a lot that's gone into it these last couple of weeks, and sleep has been very few and far between, but it's been so much fun just trying to keep this thing going.
And I imagine, Coach, you probably have these 6 a.m. to maybe midnight and beyond days, probably sleep in the office probably because you got there so late just to get stuff done.
Yeah, it's been I don't call it a grind just because I love doing it. So it's so much fun for me. I wake up every morning just excited about the process of trying to figure it all out. There's a lot of feel out process right now. It's me getting accustomed to the guys that are here and them feeling me out, as well as trying to do things that has allowed this program to achieve such success. Coach Christian did a great job of building such a really great tradition and culture here. And so just trying to use things that have been successful, but also, being me and making sure the guys know who I am and my philosophy. And so it's been a lot of fun, but just, it's an easy sell. Mount St. Mary's is a unbelievable university and a place that's on the rise. And so for me, being able to talk to recruits and their families, I've been here before, and because this place meant so much to me and the family atmosphere that this place provides, that part's been the easy part.
Now, Coach, what's been the biggest change you've seen in the university as a whole and in the program since you left 8 years ago and now you're back?
Resources. This place wants to be good. They want to be one of the best teams in this area, in this region, and I got a chance to come back for the 10-year reunion of that championship team that I talked about. And to just see the crowd support. We used to have good crowds, but this place was packed. And it seats 3,200 people, and every seat was taken up. So to see the fan support, on top of that, the support from the president and the support from the administration, just to see their vision and to hear their vision of where, not only where we are right now, but where they want to go. We're lucky and fortunate. For our league, we're the only school that really has a practice facility, and they put a lot of money and time to building that up. So for me, just seeing the resources that we have now is, just shows how much they are committed to the excellence, not just for basketball, but for the entire university.
And now, Coach, when it comes to the recruiting side of things, are you going to try to get high school freshmen? Are you going to want to get JUCO guys, transfers, or maybe go international and beyond and find guys on the international ranks to come play for you guys at Mount St. Mary's?
A, B, and C. We have to be creative with it. The landscape has changed a little bit. We've seen in our league a lot of freshmen that have come and have great careers and have the potential to be special players and have these careers are leaving now. And that's just been a problem in the NEC. So for us, I'm going to talk a lot about building this thing and making this be a 4-year commitment and talk about we want this to be, we want you to finish. We want you to get your diploma from Mount St. Mary's. So we are going to continue to recruit high-level character kids from high school, but we're also going to look into JUCO. That's a place where, I'm familiar with now and think we can tap into. And then also international. I do think there's some really talented players over there. So, I do not, I just need good people and good basketball players. So we're going to make sure that we do all of our research, and we make sure we do as much digging into not just them as a basketball player, but also as a person. So for us, we're just going to try to, turn over each rock and see what fits our program best and the needs for it.
And coming in kind of late, Coach, you really don't know what kind of roster you have, so you're kind of hamstrung to a degree for recruiting in that process. So are you going to use this summer session in the time you guys have to get on the court to kind of evaluate what you have on the roster, maybe try to get you a late signee to come join you in August, maybe?
Mm-hmm. We do have a couple scholarships open, and we are most likely going to use those and bring some guys in. But, there is a talented roster here. Some of the guys have been redshirting. Other guys just hadn't had opportunity. So this is a great opportunity for all of our guys to, have that ability to showcase their abilities. And we look forward to having this time to not just get in, our terminologies and get in how we want to play, but also, as you said, we want to evaluate the talent that's here. And, I know that the previous staff did such a great job of bringing in really good players and people. And I told our guys, look, we're going to build this with you. And that's the plan. But, I think the opportunity for everybody is there. And I think that excites some of the guys that didn't play as much in the previous year.
Folks, you got Mount St. Mary's new head coach, Dan Engelstad, with me here on the Bossman Show. And, Coach, when guys watch and people watch your team play next season, what will be the style of play that you'll probably implore? And also, what do you want people to take away from watching your team play each night out there on the court?
So I've been a head coach for 5 years. And our teams have always had the identity of playing fast. So we're attacking. I know that Mayhem, they called it Mount Mayhem. That's going to continue to stay. When I was in Southern Vermont, we called it Wreckage. So the style of play will be similar. I do think there's going to be a major emphasis for us, to win games in March. You've got to be really disciplined and really solid in the half court, both offensively and defensively. So I really want people to come to the games. I want people to watch our team play and practice and just really talk about how hard our teams play and how together we play. Passing up a good shot for a great shot. I know all the cliches, but it's, to me, that is important. I want to make sure our guys are playing good team basketball, but we're really going to guard you. We're going to be very disciplined in the half court. And because I do believe especially when you travel and you play on the road, the ball's not always going to go in the basket. So there's going to be nights where you're going to have to be able to eke out a game, and defense is going to be the reason why. And so I look forward to developing a really tough-minded basketball team here. And, as I said, the culture is really good, and Coach Christian and his staff did a terrific job of leaving some really good pieces and really good culture in place, and we just look forward to building upon it.
And also, Coach, will you be showing them a film of maybe Golden State, of how they move the ball, maybe show the Atlanta Hawks or San Antonio, how those teams move the ball, and they move without the basketball, with off-ball screens, flex cuts, back cuts, where they cut and pick to kind of make the defense move that's on standing in one place and just wait on somebody to make a play. Then that'd be good for somebody who plays fast, to show them those three teams how they play basketball.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm such a fan of how those teams play, and Golden State in particular, just talking about them. I mean, just the reason why they're so good is it's like whack-a-mole. You stop Steph, and then Kevin gets going. And because they're so unselfish with the basketball, and any of those guys, they'll post up multiple players. And their post option may not be to get a basket, but like you said, the off-ball movement, the split cuts, the back cuts that they have on the back end, those are things that we're going to stress with our group this year. And it is such a fun way to play the game. I mean, I think it's less sets and less plays. I think it's more of guys being able to play off each other and really share the basketball. So, but as you know, the ball screen has become such a big part of this game. And, we'll make sure that we have a lot of ball screen continuity, a lot of ball movement off of it as well. I'm looking forward to implementing that, but you're exactly right. You better believe with all the technology we have and the synergy, and we're going to be doing a lot of film study on the great teams that share the ball at that clip.
Now, Coach, I love the NBA game. I do a lot of work with the Atlanta Hawks as well. Mm-hmm. And I love the idea of advancing the ball late in the game in the 24-second shot clock and go in the quarters. Is that something you'd love to see the college game go to, is advance the ball, go to four quarters, and maybe shorten that shot clock down to the 24 to encourage to play fast even more?
Well, you've seen it in the women's game. So they've already started to make that change, and you can see it in the NIT making some of the international changes. So I wouldn't. I don't think it's far-fetched to say that change probably will come in the next 5 years or so. And I'm a big fan of the NBA game as well. And usually it takes some time, but usually a lot of the rules matriculate down. So I wouldn't be surprised. I like the game the way it is right now, just because I've enjoyed coaching it this way. But if we got to make that adjustment, I won't have a problem with that either.
And final one for you, Coach Evans, is for you is who are some people personally and professionally in the business who's really helped you become the man you are in the coaching ranks right now, and who's really had your back through thick and thin as you've grown as an assistant coach to a head coach now, taking this job at Mount St. Mary's here?
Well, the couple that come to mind are three of the coaches that have been at the Mount. Coach Jim Phelan is a Hall of Famer. And as a 22-year-old, to sit in the office with him and talk to him about not just basketball, but talk about stories. He was able to share Red Auerbach stories and Bill Russell, and having played against those guys. And then, anytime you win 830 games, you know what you're doing. And so for him to be a mentor of mine, and he's still doing great. I got a chance to meet with him first week on the job. I made sure to go over to the house and had a couple hour-long discussions. To have a living legend like that, and to be able to continue to use him as a resource. He's someone that's impacted my life greatly. Coach Milan Brown was the coach that gave me a chance here. He's now assistant at Pittsburgh, was the head coach of Holy Cross. He gave me my shot. He gave me my opportunity. I felt because of him I was ready to take over a program the last 5 years. I was at Southern Vermont College in Bennington, and he was been there for me the entire time. And he drove from Pittsburgh to my press conference to be there for me in this moment here at the Mount. So those two guys have really left a mark for me. And then Coach Christian, who was here before, has also been a mentor, someone I've leaned on over the years. And, I look forward to seeing what he's able to achieve at Siena. So, I don't have to look much further than the Mount's rich tradition to talk about my mentors. I love the game. I studied Brad Stevens. I've studied a lot of Shaka Smart over the years. Tom Izzo or some from a basketball perspective, but those three guys from a basketball and life perspective and a personal perspective have really made a lasting impact in my life.
Well, Coach Engelstad, when you're on the recruiting trail and you're ever in Atlanta, please feel free to come out to our studios here. We'd love to have you in Midtown Atlanta to come down and visit us and talk about your program live and in person, Coach. We know we have a lot of AAU events here in the city with a lot of coaches come in town. We'd love to have you be one of those who come visit when AAU tournaments are in town, Coach. We'd love to have you.
Well, we got them coming up soon. I know Beach Jam's not too far from here, so I would love to get down there and meet you guys. And I can't thank you enough for allowing me to come on the show and talk about the game I love and a place that means so much to me.
Anytime, Coach. You're welcome on the show anytime, Coach. Feel free.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. All right, have a good one.
All right, Coach. Have a good one, man. Talk to you soon. All right, folks, back in the JR the Bossman Show, and we're joined by North Alabama Lions new head coach, Tony Pujol, with me on the Bossman Show. Coach Pujol, how are things over there in Florence, man?
Oh, doing great down here, JR. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, indeed. Now, Coach, what does it mean to you take this job at North Alabama as they transition into D1 now, playing the ASUN Conference and putting your stamp on the community of Florence and this university as a whole?
Well, I can tell you right now, my family and I are extremely excited to be in this Florence community. Really excited about the opportunity to coach at the Division I level, and obviously as a head coach here at North Alabama. I think this is a unique opportunity. It's an opportunity for me to kind of, with our players and our staff, to paint on a blank canvas, and really excited for the opportunity, and can't wait for it to get here.
Now, Coach, can you explain for our listeners what it means you guys transition, what you can and cannot do for postseason play, scholarships? Can you kind of show our listeners about what goes on when you transition from D2 to D1?
Yeah, I mean, from an NCAA standpoint, the NCAA will put us on a probationary transitional period where we cannot participate in the NCAA tournament for the first 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. But we are allowed to play in the postseason in our conference. If we are in the top 8 in the league, we can play in the postseason of our conference. And then, obviously, if you win the regular season championship in any league, you can be invited to the NIT, which we again will be eligible for that. and we can also get invited to the CIT or the CBI. So we do have postseason opportunities. It's just during the transition, we have to be patient and wait for the NCAA to allow us back in and allow us to play in the NCAA tournament.
And then, Coach, I know he's out there in Wyoming with Coach Edwards out there. I have had him on the show a couple of times since he's doing time in Wyoming there. What about North Alabama to make you decide to make that move to come back from Wyoming and the administration there in the city of Florence? What about it really that said, hey, this is a good move for me and my family?
Well, number one, I think it gives me an opportunity to steer my ship. It gives me an opportunity to run the program, and obviously this has been a dream of mine since I got into the profession. The one thing I could tell you is whenever you're in this profession, I've spent the last 14 years as an assistant, and having the opportunity now to run my own ship is something that I'm really looking forward to. That was the only reason why I would have left Coach Edwards' staff at Wyoming. It was the opportunity to be a head coach. So, and why is North Alabama the right place? Well, I think it's the right fit for me as a coach. It allows me to continue to build on the rich tradition that we have here. But again, it's a new adventure for everybody in the Florence community. It's an opportunity to transition from Division II to Division I. And I think there's a lot of people excited about that in our community. And, I'll be honest with you, I'm excited as well. So I can't start it.
Yes, indeed. Now, Coach, having the opportunity, now begin to call your own shots. You said call your own shots now, Coach. You can say, hey, rather than making a suggestion, it can be what you want it to be now. You can actually do it. It has to be for me, going from a co-host to a main host. That was my biggest thing. Be able to make the show content my own, not having to suggest it to the main host. So I know that's right. Wonderful for you to make those own decisions for yourself and your program now.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt. Now that responsibility. Now, obviously, I'm just excited to get the opportunity to make those decisions. And like I said, ever since I started in this profession back in 1992, I've been. This was one of my goals that I had set for myself, or better still, the result that I set for myself. So I was fortunate to have this opportunity, and I'll tell you this: this is one historic opportunity I'm not going to take for granted.
I got you on that one, Coach. Now, recruiting-wise, Coach,
mm-hmm.
Are you looking at high school seniors coming in as freshmen for you guys, JUCO guys, transfers, and international players, or you all kind of have a set flow of what you want to do to build your program here these next few years here in North Alabama?
Well, first of all, I'm not a quick fix guy. I can tell you that right now, and I don't think what we're trying to do here, our brand, is to bring in one and dones, or what you call them, the fifth year guys that are just going to play here a year. We want to build this right. And, if you look at our recruiting and the 10 young men that we've added to the program since April, I could tell you right now, 7 of them are freshmen, 2 are JUCO transfers, or 3 are JUCO transfers. And of the 3 JUCO transfers, 1 will have 3 years to play. So we're gonna build this up with youth. Okay, that's our plan. I'm not one to just quickly turn and just fill up the roster with JUCO and transfers. That's not what we're trying to do here.
I got you, Coach. Because like I said, to me, that's no continuity there. And if you don't get the guys you want, you could have a bad year. Then your bench is even shorter. You playing 7 guys, maybe, or 6, depending on some teams I saw last year. If it goes badly for you.
Yep. Well, and again, I just think that if you look at where I've been and who I've been mentored by, it's all been the same type of individuals. It's guys that want to build something, create a culture, and let that culture last. And I think it's important that when you're trying to do something like that you, like you're saying, you want to create some continuity. Well, you're going to need time for that. And I truly believe that, for us, I think it's we're going to build with youth, but we're also going to sprinkle in some experience. I think that's important also when you're building a program. It's got to be a balance. So we're going to be looking for that balance.
I hear that, Coach. We got Coach Tony Pujol, North Alabama Lions, here on the Bossman Show with me right here. Coach, now, looking at the conference you're in, the A-Sun, how do you feel about it as a conference? I know I'm pretty close to Coach Skinner at Engelstad State. I know Coach Alexander up there at Lipscomb pretty well, and also know my guy Coach Fly down there at Florida Gulf Coast pretty well. So I know some coaching leaders pretty good coaches. So what's your feeling about the league as a whole as you guys get ready to jump into that play this year?
Well, I'll tell you this. Being from Florida, 4 of the teams that are in this league are from the state. And I'm very familiar with all 4 of those teams and the coaches in those programs. And I can tell you right now, it's going to be highly competitive. That's one thing. Like you said, there's not only good teams in here, but they're well-coached teams. Coach Driscoll at North Florida, Coach Williams at Stetson, Coach Fly, like you mentioned, at Florida Gulf Coast. You got Coach, Tony over at Jacksonville. I mean, you're looking at some really, really solid coaches in the state of Florida that are in the A-Sun. But then you also you add in there, New Jersey Institute, and you also in there, like you said, Coach Skinner at Kennesaw State and Coach Alexander over at Lipscomb. And don't forget now, we just added Liberty to the league. And
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you got Liberty now in the mix, and Coach Ritchie, boy, he knows what the heck he's doing over there. So it's just a great league, I think, and really, really solid coaches. So I can tell you right now, without a shadow of a doubt, it's going to be highly competitive, and man, we're looking forward to the challenge.
No, I hear that, Coach. I know watching it right here in my backyard, how competitive the games are between you guys in this league. I look at adding Coach Ritchie and adding you guys. I know it's going to be even wilder now when we see you guys play. And speaking of how you play, Coach, what's going to be your style of? You going to try to play fast, play slow, play 4 out, 1 or 5 out, or what you gonna do? Or you kind of predicate on your roster, or so when you see what you guys have when you get on the court with them this summer and then in the fall there.
Well, the style of play is going to be very important, especially the way we want to do it. We're going to be an up-tempo team. Okay, that's just the bottom line. We want to play at a tempo that's going to be uncomfortable for opponents. So. That's going to be our goal. That's going to be what we're going to be bringing daily to workouts, to practices, to weight training. But in every aspect that we do, we want to make sure that we're just getting better every day. Okay, that's going to be the focal point for us. We talk to our guys a bunch about the difference between goals and results. Okay, playing at a fast pace and playing the style of play, to me, is a result. The goal's got to be what you're doing daily to play at that style. Because there is work that needs to be done so you could play that way. There's got to be a buy-in that needs to be done to play that way. So that's what we're going to focus on. That's what we're going to lean on. We're going to lean on the daily habits of what we're doing every day to prepare us to play a certain style. So, but as far as tempo, we're going to play an up-tempo style. We're going to make sure that our guys understand they're going to play with some freedom. But with that freedom given, responsibility. And I'll tell you this, we're gonna have an open flow on offense, but our guys better understand that if they're gonna play here, they got to defend. They're gonna have to defend, and that's been my background since I was a high school coach, and I will continue that background now that I've got this opportunity to be the head coach at the University of North Alabama.
And now, Coach, non-conference scheduling wise. I know it's going to be probably hard for you to kind of schedule games, get people to come to Florence right now. So you probably do a lot of those buy pretty much games where they buy you to come play. Those 2-for-1s and those kind of things in the tournament. So how you see trying to mix all those together to try to make a good schedule for you guys, make sure y'all competitive before you get in the A-Sun to play there.
Yeah, well, I think that's critical. I mean, one of the 3 things that I think impact winning the most in your program is, number 1, who you hire to your program. What players are part of your program, and then how you schedule. So, to me, I think a schedule prior to conference play needs to be one that's going to prepare you for the conference. And, right now we're still in the middle and in the process of it. We've been fortunate that we were given D1 status, so now we can be a counter to those Division I teams. So they're not playing playing us now is not like playing a D2 school. It's like playing an actual D1 school. So now all these programs can now get involved in, buying games and all that stuff. So the bottom line is, I think your non-conference needs to prepare you for your conference, like you're asking. And I think we're doing that. I think we've got some, obviously it's still preliminary, but I think we got some programs that are going to help us after we compete with them to get ready for the ASUN.
And Coach, who are some coaches who really helped you out in your career, personally, professionally, in the coaching business, outside the coaching business, has really been an inspiration to you as you move on in your career and then got this job here in North Alabama, leading the Lions going forward?
Man, there's so many. Obviously the guys that I've worked with in the past at Appalachian State and VCU, Alabama, Wyoming, even right here at North Alabama right now, I've got our staff right now is we have two full-time guys right now that worked with me at Alabama. One was our video coordinator. The other was a graduate assistant when I was there. I'm about to add a third here pretty shortly. So it's going to be, I think a lot of people that have made an impact in my life as far as coaching. Well, right off the bat, I would tell you that, I would have to say in basketball, it would be Anthony Grant, without a doubt. Spent the most time with him in college. And one of the most, to me, I've never been around a person who his attention to detail is through the roof. His work ethic through the roof. So I would say Anthony Grant's one. Obviously, Houston Fancher is another one. He was the guy that gave me my first opportunity to coach at the Division I level, and he also had a tremendous impact. Alan Edwards, not even close. We worked together as assistants, and then I worked for him at Wyoming. We were assistants together at BCU. So I've spent a lot of time with Coach Edwards, and I would tell you that I've never been around anybody that has a connection with his players like Coach Edwards does. I mean, that's one thing that he prides himself in, and obviously it's worked out for him, winning 43 games at the University of Wyoming in that league. I mean, it's pretty remarkable what he's been able to do, because obviously, you look at the teams in that league, and that's a heck of a win total for a guy that's only been doing it for 2 years. And then obviously the last guy would be Frank Martin. Coach Martin and I go back to 1992 when I was a high school coach at a private school, and he was at Miami Senior. And we've been connected since then. We've coached AAU basketball together. We just he's like a brother to me. So he had a tremendous impact in my development. So those are the guys that I would tell you had the greatest impacts and influences in my coaching career.
Yeah, I love having on Coach Martin. He always gets me inspired. Every time I have him on the show, he inspires me to do better every time I talk to him.
That's right.
He gets me going. I'm 31 years old. He gets me going and excited to go be a better radio host. I'm talking to that guy every time.
That's right.
Last one I got for you, Coach, is this. I know it's probably been a whirlwind for you. It's been crazy in North Alabama since you took that job. So if you could, Coach, share us, what's kind of your typical day like in the office? Is it booster calls, recruiting calls, player meetings, meeting with the staff, meeting with the community? How crazy has it been for you, Coach?
Well, I'll tell you, I've told my guys that there's 4 things that I got to be allowed to do, okay? And to be honest with you, you're right, it has been a whirlwind. We've had to revamp the entire roster. We had to revamp pretty much our schedule. So I would tell you that the 4 things that I tell my staff that I have to do on a daily basis. Number 1 is I got to be able to coach my team. So I'm preparing myself for that. Our guys are going to be here in July. So I'm looking forward to getting those 4 hours of workouts with them in July. So I'm preparing myself for that. So while we're out recruiting in July, I also got to be prepared to, when I get back on campus, to make sure that our guys are, getting the attention that they need in the July month so that we can, because obviously, as we all know, that this is the time of the year where we're developing our players. So it's not in October, November, or December. It's now. So we're going to be focusing in on that from a strength and conditioning standpoint and a basketball standpoint, as well as an athletic standpoint. I mean, academic standpoint, because it gives them a little jump start for the year, especially for the freshmen. Then I would tell you the other thing I tell my guys that I have to do on a daily basis is I got to recruit. I got to recruit players that are going to be future players for this program. So I've got to do those two things right off the bat: coach my team, recruit. Then I got to recruit the players that are in the program. I got to make sure that our guys understand that I'm here for them. Okay, that I care about them. Okay, that I got to have that relationship, because then I got to be able to coach them the way I need to coach them for them to be the best that they can be. And then the last thing I would tell you is I got to recruit, like you're saying, the boosters, the support of the program. I got to be able to spend time with them, because they also are a big part of what we're trying to accomplish here. So those are the four things that I basically have been all over since I've been here. Okay, and it's it has been a little bit of a whirlwind.
Well, Coach, I'll tell you this: if you come to town for the Peace Jam, I'd love to have you come in studio with us here in Midtown Atlanta, and come visit and have you in to talk about your program some more. See where your guys are. Kind of let the people in Atlanta hear about you. Because they don't see you because you play Engelstad State, so they can't avoid you. They gotta see you one way or another.
That's right. Here
in the ATLs, right. we gonna throw them in, throw you in their face no matter what, Coach. We're gonna make sure they know who Coach Pujol is. So North Alabama and the Lions, man.
Well, JR, thank you very much, and thank you for having me on your show. It's really been a pleasure talking to you.
Yes.
And I look forward to future gatherings.
Yes, sir. Hey, anytime you play in Engelstad State in town, Coach, feel free. I'm gonna give you my number. Feel free to hit me up, and we'd love to have you in the studio or have you come by anytime, man.
You can count on it.
All right, Coach. It's been great. We're gonna talk to you real soon, man.
All righty. Thank you, JR.
All right, folks, we're back here in the JR the Bossman Show. We're joined by a great coach. He's coming back for a second time to Pepperdine, second stint there at the Wave. It's Lorenzo Romar, known from Washington. You might know him from Arizona last year, but he's Pepperdine. Coach Romar, I've always been a fan of yours. Got to have you on the show, man. How are you doing out there in Malibu, man?
Jay, I'm doing good, man. It's really good. The ocean's beautiful from my office, the view, and we're looking forward to getting this summer going and getting our season going.
Coach, I cannot wait to come out to California. I'm going to the Bay Area for the finals. I cannot wait, because here in Atlanta today, it's like a monsoon. It's raining like crazy. And I can't get that California sun.
It's a little different out there.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, Coach, I tell you what, congrats on getting the job at Pepperdine for the second time here, Coach. And I tell you, what about it, the program led you to want to come back for a second time and lead this university and put the impact out there in Southern California once more for the guys in that region?
Well, Pepperdine's always been a great job. The last decade or so, I think that they haven't had as much progress as they would have liked, and they were very, very adamant about, in terms of the administration, they wanted to pour a lot of funding into the program, build a new arena, do some things to put this job back at a top level. I'm from Southern California. There's a lot of familiarity with the area, with Pepperdine. So for all those reasons, I just thought it was a great opportunity to come back.
Now, Coach, how has the job changed for you personally for as recruiting the guys or how the program has grown for you facility-wise, resource-wise? Because I feel like, for you to come back, it has to be a lot way different than it was when you were there the first time. So if you could go up and specifically, like, what's really changed with the program since you last been there, and how are you going to sell this program to people now, knowing that you're back for a second time to bring this community together and show people, hey, we got something brewing here in the West Coast Conference here?
Well, JR, that's the thing. There were some changes, but not a whole lot. And I think that the administration just decided, you know what, we've gone too long without investing in this program like we did years ago, and it's time to do it. And that's what got me excited. That was one of the first questions I asked. Are we going to have a new arena, a new place to play? Because 21 years ago, there was talk of that, and it hadn't happened. But they assured me, and it is going to happen within a few years here, that there's going to be a new arena. Getting the people to come out, getting the students to come out to the games is going to be something that's going to be a fun challenge to get everybody involved with in this program. And then, we got to recruit. We have to get players out there that are going to help us win games. They're going to be exciting to watch, and I think we've made strides in that regard already.
Speaking of recruiting, Coach, Pepperdine has a national brand. Now, growing up in Atlanta, I heard about Pepperdine out here. So I know it's a national brand. So as you recruit guys, Coach, whether it be high school seniors, will be JUCO guys, transfer guys, international guys, that's the name Pepperdine just rings a bell to people. So I feel like it's an easy sell job. Plus you get a good education, a great part of the country as well. So are you noticing this just by saying the name and having your name as well, being a prominently known coach, that, hey, guys want to come play for you because they've seen guys you send to the NBA, how your guys still love you, who you push to play for you. So all that working in your favor so far, you feel, Coach?
Well, hopefully, things that we've done in the past can get people's attention to where they trust if they come here and are part of this program, good things can happen for them. And I think the main thing we have to get going, we signed 7 kids in one class since we've been here, and we've got to now get out on the basketball floor and show that we can win and win big. And I think that's our biggest challenge. I think once that happens, I think we'll be in good shape in terms of recruiting because, like you said, you can't beat the campus. You can't beat the view. You can't beat the area, the weather, the location. It's all high level. And the education is one that's very well respected around the country and around the world. So if we get out there, we're playing in a new facility, we're playing good basketball, I think the recruits will come.
And Coach, do you see yourself being more of a see, I know a lot of this just a lot of changed now. The landscape's kind of changing now, where you got international guys involved. Some teams are more transferred, JUCOs or high school seniors. So are you trying to go with all 4 levels of that, or are you trying to focus on maybe 1 or 2 levels to build your program and keep that class balance that most coaches want to achieve for their programs?
I think every year is different. This year there was such a need because there was some transfers. When we took the job, people that decided to do other things. So we had to sign a large class. But, ideally, if you're able to get 3 or 4 a year, that's making it pretty consistent. And this will even out. The 7 that we signed this year, it'll all even out. And, we're trying to get high school kids. If there is a transfer out there, which there are so many times, we're looking at that. In fact, we signed 2 transfers this year coming in. So we're looking for the best talent that's out there that can come in and represent our program with great character and kids that are going to do a good job in the classroom.
And Coach, now this summer you get 4 hours in July. How much are you going to try to implement your systems, or use some more of an evaluation period, player development, more so than implement a system that you want to run come the fall?
Well, normally this would be a time of total player development. We would like to think, JR, that we have a system that if you're working on our system, it develops you as a player as well, though. It's not just learning a bunch of plays. It's learning how to play. That's kind of how we try to play basketball and how we try to run offense. And we'll put some defensive concepts. This being our first year, we think it's more important for our kids to get acclimated to that system, and they'll develop as we go along with that. Now, after this year, that's what the spring and the summer will be for exclusively, is total player development, because at that point, kids know your system.
Exactly. Now, Coach, I think that's one of the biggest things that I feel like sometimes gets lost in translation. Player development. You have to develop these guys. You have to give them a plan of action. They definitely want it too, but that player development aspect is so key to get guys getting better over the summertime, over that April, May, June, July, and August, because you get better than the season gets, but you really get better during this time of year right here.
There's no doubt. At Washington, we were very, very blessed in that we were there 15 years, and there were 16 pros that came out of our program during those 15 years, and only 3 of those guys were McDonald's All-Americans. And, it showed, I think my staff did a good job of identifying guys that could get better, but they had to get better. And the fact that they weren't just shoe-in, can't-miss NBA guys, and yet 16 of them went on to do it, I think it speaks to the type of development that we were able to show and get out of our guys.
And now, Coach, non-conference schedule, Coach Romar, is something that I know you coaches drive you crazy. It's probably the second hardest thing outside of recruiting you guys do. So this year's probably already done for you. So how do you see yourself going about it in the future for us not scheduling games for your team as you prepare for West Coast Conference play there?
Well, I think there's no doubt you have to. And we weren't able to do that this year, but there has to be some Power 5 opponents that we're playing. We would like to put ourselves in a position to where if we did not win the conference, we could still maybe get in that large bid. And with that being the case, you got to go out and you got to try to schedule some heavy hitters out there, and that's what we try to do. We try to play in a national tournament every year to get our guys acclimated to tournament play. So those are some of the things we're looking at.
And Coach, I wanted, because I work for the Hawks too, Coach. I do a lot of work with the Atlanta Hawks. And I love how you can advance the ball at the end of the game, 20% shot clock in quarters. Do you feel like maybe it's 2 or 3 of those rules the NBA has that's unique to the NBA will become the college game, maybe advancing the ball at the end of the game, 20% shot clock at the quarters? Because I feel like that'll make the game so much better and more exciting. Late game where you can advance the ball, you can drop a play, see what happens there.
I think the college game is evolving in terms of the rules, more like the NBA game, that's for sure. What I could see happening first is the quarters as opposed to the halves. I could see everyone playing 4 quarters in the NCAA like the women are doing right now.
Yes, and I enjoy that actually. I think it gives you that natural time out, and also, Coach, maybe resetting the fouls too. Because if the refs caught it tight early, you could be in the 1-1 for the first media time.
Yeah,
out.
that's right.
Some other
that's
games
exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. So I think they'll be advancing more toward something like that in the future.
And also, Coach, I love having 6 personal fouls too. I love that too. But I would love to be on the rules committee to help you guys out, man. To help the game grow a little bit more if we can do it.
Right. I don't blame you.
Yes. Now, Coach, I love to have coaches about this when I have them on the show, man. Who are some guys, personally, professionally in the business, who really helped you, Coach Romar, to become who you are today? And who are some guys who you have your eye on, under your tree that may be coming out real soon that we may hear about, who you've helped grow them as well and branch off of your tree here?
Well, Jim Herrick from UCLA gave me my first job. He was at Georgia at one time. He's at Rhode Island, and he hired me first, and I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from Lute Olson, who coached at Arizona, the deceased Rick Majerus. I picked stuff up from him, and played 5 years in the NBA and played for Don Nelson out of the NBA. So I've learned a lot from a lot of different coaches that I played for. A young man that's, not just a young man, but Randy Bennett is at St. Mary's. When I was at Pepperdine before, he was the first guy that I hired as an assistant. He's gone on to really, really do well. He's one of the top programs on the West Coast. Another guy, Ken Ammon, who was with me at Pepperdine, he's gone on to the NAIA division, has won national championships, has been in Final Fours, and just to name a couple of guys that have gone on to do well, but we're still working at it.
I hear that, Coach. That's what I got for you, Coach. I know it's probably been a whirlwind for you. I know it's been like crazy for you for a schedule with taking over a new job. It always is. So if you could, Coach, share what it's like a typical daily is for you in the office. Like, are you doing recruiting calls? Are you doing practice plans with the staff? Are you meeting people around the university and the community? How is each day for you, Coach, typically?
Well, all of the above. We are getting things geared up because summer school is going to start next week, and that's when that 4 hours a week starts. July is going to be a period where we can go out during the month and recruit and evaluate. So we're scheduling that. We're getting ourselves in position to give ourselves the best chance to land these recruits. And that's going on now as we're talking to them on the phone. And in 3 weeks, we're able to call kids that are sophomores going to be juniors for the first time. So we're putting ourselves in position there, and all the while trying to make sure that we're gaining the trust of the current players that we are here with at Pepperdine, because they're all new to our system. We're new to them. They have to learn our way. So the days go by pretty quickly. They're long, but they go by pretty quickly.
Well, Coach, if you're ever in Atlanta trying to find some talent here in Atlanta, a lot of talent right here in ATL, Coach. If you're ever in town, Coach, let me have you in the studio, man. Let me have you come by here and see us here in Midtown Atlanta, man, because I tell you, I love when you coaches come by, stop by and see us here in the studio, man. It's so fun. I love it when you are in person here with us here in the studio, because it's great.
Well, I appreciate that invitation, man.
Yes, indeed. Well, Coach Romar, I told you, I've been a fan of yours for years, man. I'm happy you got this job here at Pepperdine. We'll be definitely watching you. Look forward to having you on down the road, Coach. Talk to see where you guys are progressed so far this year, man.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, JR.
All right, thank you, Coach. Have a great day, man.
Okay, take it easy.
From the L to the O. All right, what's back in the JR the Bossman Show? We're about to be joined by a great guest. He's interim head coach of the University of Maryland Eastern Shore Hawks, Coach Cliff Reed. Here's with me in the Bossman Show. Coach Reed, first I want to ask you, man, how is the roads up there in Maryland? I saw a lot of flooding going on. I heard a lot on the news. So how's the roads and the flooding and the waters up there, man?
Well, fortunately for me, I didn't get any of the rain on the Eastern Shore where I'm currently located, but not within a couple hours of it, it's flooded. So I haven't seen any of the flooding at all, and we were supposed to get a lot of the rain just as well as other parts of Maryland did. So I don't have any rain over the last 72 hours, except maybe a little bit one night, just a little. So I haven't experienced that as of right now.
Well, I definitely want to make sure we check in with you. I know you're up in the Maryland area. I want to make sure our listeners up there in Maryland know that we care about them down here in Atlanta. So I'm glad you have to give us an update on your end, Coach.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Now, Coach, what does it mean to you for this university to tap you as interim head coach when they could have went other places, but they chose you, Coach Reed, to lead this program and give you opportunity to prove yourself and prove to the administration and then the players and the fans that, hey, you're the man for this job, potentially going forward, doing the job of leading the Hawks this year in the MEAC conference there?
Well, first of all, you got to give God the glory for the opportunity. You understand, like sometimes you don't get a second opportunity, and this is my second go-round as a head coach in the MEAC conference, and as I spent a lot of time in the South at Bethune-Cookman University. So I just give him the glory, and I'm just blessed to be in this opportunity to be able to serve young people and be able to help the University of Maryland Eastern Shore achieve goals and objectives that they have for the men's basketball program and the athletic department in particular. So it's an honor and a privilege to be able to serve the university, the young players, and the other coaches, because this is the flagship program. We don't have football, so this position is a position of leadership for the athletic department, not only just the men's basketball head coach.
And, Coach, how important is it as a role of a head coach being at HBC for our young African-American men who come into your program, especially in during the times we're living in right now, which we won't really delve into, but just knowing that, hey, you are a pillar and a voice for them to help them make sense of the craziness they're witnessing on a daily basis in our society there and in our country today?
Well, I think it's extremely important that I provide, in a position of leadership, provide leadership. And the most important way to provide leadership is to actually by your actions. So I try to be the model that I want them to see. I'm a family man. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a teacher, a coach, a brother, an uncle, a confidant. So I just have to model the behavior that I want them to see. They see African American who's somewhat successful, who's not on the street corner, who's successful, and you have someone who can you can follow their behavior and follow their role, and so that's the best way to lead. That's the most important thing to do. Like sometimes our parents used to say, son, do as I say, not as I do. But we understand now, young people today, they do as you do, and they want to know why if you're not doing it the right way. So I try to model the behavior and let them know how to be successful in today's society with all the different things going on today, the social media, the tension level that we have in certain areas during this time in America.
Now, Coach Reed, how much of an advantage is for you being on staff last year, been a chance to eyeball the players and probably re-recruit some guys, keep them on the roster after the coaching change there? And did you feel good knowing that you can kind of keep some of the recruits you was engaged with outside who weren't on the roster yet because familiar with you, and also by you keeping the job, kind of keep the continuity going, that he give the program a chance to be stable going forward?
But I got to give the administration and the athletic director credit for giving me an opportunity and thanking them for giving me that opportunity to keep some continuity, because obviously I was there, and some people would say, well, you were a part of some of the issues, but at the same time, I think that I was part of a lot of the success we've had, the most success we've ever had. I was a part of that as the associate head coach. And like you say, I have an evaluation of players in the program. So when you're recruiting kids, you evaluate them and you see if they fit what you want to do. So by having recruited some of the players, and I'm very hands-on with the program and skill workouts and development of players off the court as well as on the court, I have a good feel for them, and I know what their strengths are and the areas that they need to improve, not just basketball, but in their social life and their personal lives and their academic lives. So it gives me a leg up to be able to understand how to coach the young men who are here. And the ones who are here, they want to be here, they want to play and want to see this program be successful and want to be instrumental in the success of the program.
And now, Coach, when you get on the court with the guys at some of the schools starting for the workout period, will it be more player development-wise, or are you going to try to input in some schemes? Because I know you might want to tweak some things from last year's team for scheme-wise, or you wait to do that and when the fall opens up there?
For me, it starts off the court with the type of culture that I want to bring to the table. And I'm different. I'm a military person than the previous coach, so I'm a different individual. And so for me, I want to attack the culture outside of basketball and create being a military man, discipline, hard work, togetherness, being a team. The ultimate team is in the Army, because you're dealing with. I was in the Army, so you're dealing with, fighting for your country. So you, as a team, you could be in a situation where it's more than just shooting hoops. It's life. It could be a life or death situation when you're in training in a military situation. So I try to bring that family togetherness and that discipline, that mental toughness, and the accountability of all those things together. And that's what my objective is. And so the basketball part, I've been doing this since I was 10 years old, 8 years old. I've been playing, I've been coaching, so I've been involved in basketball for 40-plus years, and I've been a head coach for 10-plus years at the Division I level and the high school level as well. So I have a grasp of that. So I'm a foundation guy, culture first, and then it's important that we build with the culture part, then you do the skill development, the individual development. You get to know the player individually. You get to know their strengths. You get to know how tough they are when you're taking them through drills and what they can do, what type of shots they can do, and you get to build a relationship. Everything we do today is about relationships. So I'm about building the skill work, and I do a little bit of we didn't do a lot of team stuff. We did mostly skill work, and we broke it down 2 guys per group, sometimes one-on-one, so that we could get more done with less per group.
Exactly, Coach. Now, do you feel like this, Coach, in the MEAC conference that, I think there's some great teams in the MEAC, and I hate that Hampton left the MEAC conference, but with losing Hampton, do you feel like it's a big opportunity for teams like yourself and Bethune and those teams like that to maybe, because Buck Joyner kind of had like it was him and everybody else for a while there getting that automatic bid. So do you feel like it's open for the whole league for everybody else, and then with them kind of leaving out, kind of fight for that top spot in MEAC now?
Yes, I definitely agree with you about Hampton leaving. I think they definitely helped our league without a doubt. They have been the class of the league probably the last 20 years, maybe overall. You have turns. There's been a turn for Dale State for a little while. Coppin State dominated early. South Carolina State dominated for a period. Then you have North Carolina Central. But in that period of time, since Hampton's been in the league, and they haven't been in the league quite 20 years. Maybe it's right at 20 years they've been in the league. They have always won some championships. They've always been a constant winning some championships. So they've been strong, but it rotates throughout the league. And now North Carolina Central has kind of carried the torch, but they've shared a little bit of that with Buck and Hampton. So we're definitely going to miss them, but at the same time now you'll see some other programs I think we'll take some steps up, and I think we have a chance here at University of Maryland Eastern Shore to hopefully I help stabilize the situation with my staff and everybody, and we have an opportunity to take a step up in this league and grab hold of it. I know Bethune is pretty strong right now. North Carolina Central has a stronghold pretty much on it. They've won it the last 2 years, won it 3 out of 4 years, I think, 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5. So we're going to try to get in there. And then A&T was strong last year, and Norfolk State has been a constant top-tier program. So those are the ones right now. Somebody's going to take another leap, and hopefully it'll be us.
Yes, indeed, Coach. And I feel like it's so key to keep stability and keep people comfortable. I feel like a lot of times when there's coaching changes that, going from a different direction kind of maybe hurts the kids more than it helps the kids, Because they had trust in that previous assistant coaches. Because if a kid hates his assistant, that's a problem, But the assistant coach usually keeps them happy. They get the one deciding minutes and what have you. So I think it's very key stability to keep the kids happy, keeping them comfortable. If a kid gets uncomfortable, that guy could go off the rails and you lose them and never get them back.
Yes. I think stability. You talked about that earlier. Stability is extremely key. Having stability. With the players as well as the staff, having you're not changing a lot of players as well. Having kids who've been in the programs 2 years, 3 years, and sometimes even 4 years. Even though you don't quite see that as much with the if you look at the kids who are leaving, that's more and more kids all the time who are leaving schools, who are to the transfer list. But at the same time, the more continuity you keep with your staff, the more continuity you keep with the players. You have 2 and 3 and 4 year players who are the more veteran you are, the better your programs are today. If you look at the MEAC and the NCAA tournament, very few teams are winning except the elite programs with young players. You're winning they have continuity. They have continuity on the staff. They have great staffs. They have continuity with the teams. With the players, they have 2, 3, 4 year players. That's why the mid-majors are so strong. They have those 3 and 4 year players who are bigger, stronger, and more experienced. And it catapults you into having success when you have stability in staff, players, administration, all the way to the top.
Got there right, Coach. Well, Coach Reed, I tell you what, man, it's been a pleasure having you on this show, and I look forward to cheering for you guys this year. I want you to be able to keep that gig up there. I feel like you'll do a great job for those young men up there at Eastern Shore, and I hope everything works out for you guys. And I'll be talking to you again in the fall, Coach, checking out even with your program, see everything's going with you and you guys, the Hawks up there.
Thank you, Mr. Bossman. I appreciate you having me on.
You're welcome, Coach Reed. Have a great day, man. Talk to you real soon.
All right. Take care.